Metuchen is a borough in Middlesex County, New Jersey, United States, which is 8 miles northeast of New Brunswick, 18 miles southwest of Newark, 24 miles southwest of Jersey City, and 29 miles southwest of Manhattan, all part of the New York metropolitan area. As of the 2010 United States Census, the borough's population was 13,574, reflecting an increase of 734 from the 12,840 counted in the 2000 census, which had in turn increased by 36 from the 12,804 counted in the 1990 census. Metuchen was incorporated as a borough by an act of the New Jersey legislature on March 20, 1900, from portions of Raritan Township. History. Until 1870, what is now Metuchen was a part of Woodbridge Township. Because the settlers in the western part of the township were so far removed from the village of Woodbridge, they early developed a separate identity. The name Metuchen first appeared in 1688–1689, and its name was derived from the name of a Native American chief, known as mə-TUCH-ən or mə-TUCH-ən. In 1701, an overseer of roads was appointed for Metuchen district. In 1705, Main Street was laid out at the same time as the road from Metuchen to Woodbridge, which one source calls a reworking of the original road. Sometime between 1717 and 1730, a meeting house was constructed for weekday meetings conducted by the pastor of the Woodbridge Presbyterian Church. In 1756, Metuchen Presbyterians succeeded in forming their own congregation, attesting to their growing numbers. In 1770, the congregations merged, with Metuchen getting 2/5 of the pastor's services in Woodbridge 3/5. By 1772, Metuchen had grown sufficiently to warrant 50% of his time. In 1793, the two churches again separated. From the late 18th to the early 19th century, Metuchen grew little. A map of 1799 shows 10 buildings in the center of town along Main Street. By 1834, a Presbyterian church, a store, 2 taverns and about a dozen dwellings could be found. The opening of the Middlesex and Essex Turnpike in 1806, and the Perth-Amboyne-bound Brook Turnpike in 1808 seem not to have spurred growth to any appreciable extent. Not until the beginning of the railroad era did commercial and residential development surge. In 1836, the New Jersey Railroad was completed to New Brunswick. The construction of a station at Main Street made it inevitable that this would develop as the principal street. A business section soon began to appear between Middlesex Avenue and the railroad tracks, and commercial and service establishments gradually began to assume a more modern aspect. The second half of the 19th century was a period of social, cultural and religious diversification in Metuchen. Between 1859 and 1866, the Reformed Church was organized, the first Catholic Mass was celebrated and St. Luke's Episcopal Church was founded. In 1870 both the Building and Loan Association and the library opened, the same year that Raritan Township was incorporated. As the largest village in the new township, Metuchen naturally became its commercial and cultural center and acquired substantial political control. In 1873, the town hosted Howard Newton Fuller and the Rutgers College Glee Club in the first ever performance of their alma mater. In 1879, the Literary and Debating Society was formed, and in 1883 the Village Improvement Society. By 1882, Metuchen School No. 15 had an enrollment of 256 pupils, and by 1885 the New Jersey Gazette listed 37 businesses. The decade of the 1890s was a period of expansion for public utilities. In 1894, telegraph service was begun, and in 1897 telephone service begun by the N.Y.&N.J. Telephone Company. In the same year the Midland Water Company commenced operation and supplied hydrants for newly formed volunteer fire companies. In 1899, a new street lighting system was installed. At about the same time, a bicycling organization was formed, the Metuchen Wheelmen, which lobbied for improved roads. Trolley service began in 1900. In addition, commerce had grown to such an extent that the New Brunswick directory listed 91 businesses in 1899. Metuchen attracted an influx of artists, literary figures and noted intellectuals during this time, acquiring the nickname, the Brainy Borough. One of the borough's two post offices is named Brainy Borough Station. The new century began with the borough's incorporation in 1900. On November 19, 1981, Metuchen became the seat of the newly established Roman Catholic Diocese of Metuchen. The diocese includes Hunterdon, Middlesex, Somerset and Warren counties and more than 500,000 Catholics. Metuchen Borough Hall, dedicated in 2005, replaced a structure built in 1924 during the City Beautiful movement. Geography. According to the United States Census Bureau, the borough had a total area of 2.766 square miles, including 2.764 square miles of land and 0.002 square miles of water. The borough of Metuchen is surrounded by Edison Township. Unincorporated communities, localities and place names located partially or completely within the township include Jefferson Park and Robinvale. Metuchen has been a state-designated town center since 1996 and transit hub. Since 2001, it has been recognized for its smart growth development. Plans to build a residential and commercial center with 700 parking spaces on a parking lot adjacent to the train station were announced in July 2014. Demographics. 2010 census. At the 2010 United States Census, there were 13,574 people, 5,243 households, and 3,744 families residing in the borough. The population density was 4,910.4 per square mile. There were 5,440 housing units at an average density of 1,967.9 per square mile. The racial makeup of the borough was 77.92% white, 4.88% black or African American, 0.07% Native American, 12.96% Asian, 0.02% Pacific Islander, 1.39% from other races, and 2.76% from two or more races. Hispanics or Latinos of any race were 6.89% of the population. There were 5,243 households, of which 33.6% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 58.3% were married couples living together, 10.1% had a female householder with no husband present, and 28.6% were non-families. 23.9% of all households were made up of individuals, and 9.9% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.59 and the average family size was 3.10. In the borough, 24.2% of the population were under the age of 18, 5.4% from 18 to 24, 26.8% from 25 to 44, 29.7% from 45 to 64, and 13.8% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 41.1 years. For every 100 females there were 93.1 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 88.2 males. Males had a median income of $78,974 versus $57,271 for females. The per capita income for the borough was $46,949. 2000 census. As of the 2000 United States Census, there were 12,840 people, 4,992 households, and 3,584 families residing in the borough. The population density was 4,684.8 people per square mile. There were 5,104 housing units at an average density of 1,862.2 per square mile. The racial makeup of the borough was 93.30% white, 3.38% African American, 0.10% Native American, 7.23% Asian, 1.12% from other races, and 1.86% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 3.96% of the population. There were 4,992 households, out of which 32.5% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 58.8% were married couples living together. 10.0% had a female householder with no husband present, and 28.2% were non-families. 23.0% of all households were made up of individuals, and 9.6% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.57 and the average family size was 3.05. In the borough, the population was spread out, with 23.3% under the age of 18, 5.3% from 18 to 24, 31.3% from 25 to 44, 25.2% from 45 to 64, and 14.9% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 40 years. For every 100 females there were 91.6 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 87.1 males. The median income for a household in the borough was $75,546, and the median income for a family was $85,022. Males had a median income of $58,125 versus $43,097 for females. The per capita income for the borough was $36,749. Government. Local government. mə-TUCH-ən is governed under the borough form of New Jersey municipal government. The governing body consists of a mayor and a borough council comprising 6 council members, with all positions elected at large on a partisan basis as part of the November general election. A mayor is elected directly by the voters to a 4-year term of office. The borough council consists of 6 members elected to serve 3-year terms on a staggered basis, with 2 seats coming up for election each year in a 3-year cycle. The borough form of government used by mə-TUCH-ən, the most common system used in the state, is a weak mayor, strong council government in which council members act as the legislative body, with the mayor presiding at meetings and voting. Only in the event of a tie, the mayor can veto ordinances subject to an override by a 2/3 majority vote of the council. The mayor makes committee and liaison assignments for council members, and most appointments are made by the mayor with the advice and consent of the council. As of 2015, update, the mayor of mə-TUCH-ən is Democrat Thomas Vahela, who is serving a 4-year term ending December 31, 2015. Members of the borough council are Ronald Grazel, Allison Insero, Reed Leibfried, John J. Muldoon, Dorothy Rasmussen and James Wallace. Federal, state and county representation. mə-TUCH-ən is located in the 6th Congressional District and is part of New Jersey's 18th State Legislative District. New Jersey's 6th Congressional District is represented by Frank Pallone. New Jersey is represented in the United States Senate by Cory Booker and Bob Menendez. For the 2014-15 session, the 18th District of the New Jersey Legislature is represented in the State Senate by Peter J. Barnes III and in the General Assembly by Patrick J. Diagnan and Nancy Pinkham. The Governor of New Jersey is Chris Christie. The Lieutenant Governor of New Jersey is Kim Wadenow. Middlesex County is governed by a board of chosen freeholders, whose 7 members are elected at large on a partisan basis to serve 3-year terms of office on a staggered basis, with either 2 or 3 seats coming up for election each year as part of the November general election. At an annual reorganization meeting held in January, the board selects from among its members a freeholder director and deputy director. As of 2015, update, Middlesex County's freeholders are freeholder director Ronald G. Rios, freeholder deputy director Carol Barrett Bellant, Kenneth Armwood, Charles Kenny, James Polos, Charles E. Tomero and Blanquita B. Valenti. Constitutional officers are County Clerk Elaine M. Flynn, Sheriff Mildred S. Scott and Surrogate Kevin J. Hoagland. Politics. As of March 23, 2011, there were a total of 9,520 registered voters in mə-TUCH-ən, of which 4,120 were registered as Democrats. 1,528 were registered as Republicans and 3,858 were registered as unaffiliated. There were 14 voters registered to other parties. In the 2012 presidential election, Democrat Barack Obama received 61.3% of the vote, ahead of Republican Mitt Romney with 37.4%. and other candidates with 1.3%. Among the 7,049 ballots cast by the borough's 9,779 registered voters, for a turnout of 72.1%. In the 2008 presidential election, Democrat Barack Obama received 60.1% of the vote, ahead of Republican John McCain with 38.3% and other candidates with 1.0%. Among the 7,579 ballots cast by the borough's 9,809 registered voters, for a turnout of 77.3%. In the 2004 presidential election, Democrat John Kerry received 57.9% of the vote, outpolling Republican George W. Bush with 40.6% and other candidates with 0.9%. Among the 7,170 ballots cast by the borough's 9,348 registered voters, for a turnout percentage of 76.7%. In the 2013 gubernatorial election, Republican Chris Christie received 50.1% of the vote, ahead of Democrat Barbara Buono with 48.5%, and other candidates with 1.4%. Among the 4,844 ballots cast by the borough's 9,822 registered voters, for a turnout of 49.3%. In the 2009 gubernatorial election, Democrat John Corzine received 47.0% of the vote, ahead of Republican Chris Christie with 43.4%. Independent Chris Daggett with 8.2% and other candidates with 0.8%. Among the 5,197 ballots cast by the borough's 9,479 registered voters, yielding a 54.8% turnout. Education. The mə-TUCH-ən School District serves students in kindergarten through 12th grade. As of the 2011-12 school year, the district's 4 schools had an enrollment of 2,109 students and 166.6 classroom teachers, for a student-teacher ratio of 12.66:1. Schools in the district are Moss School, Campbell Elementary School, Edgar Middle School and mə-TUCH-ən High School for grades 9 to 12. The borough is home to St. Joseph High School, a private all-boys Catholic prep school, notable for its academics and sports awards, that is conducted by the Brothers of the Sacred Heart and operated under the supervision of the Roman Catholic Diocese of mə-TUCH-ən. There have been 2 historical schools named for Benjamin Franklin. The old Franklin Schoolhouse is a one-room school on Route 27 near Main Street, built in 1807 and used until 1870. In 1906, it was acquired and restored by the Borough Improvement League and is currently used as a community music venue. A larger Franklin School, built in 1906, once stood at the intersection of Middlesex and Lake Avenues but fell into disrepair in the mid-1980s. It has since been demolished to make way for a residential development called Franklin Square. Transportation. Commuting had become a way of life for Metuchen residents by the start of the 20th century. Daily commuters numbered 400 out of a population of 1,786 by the year 1900. Accessibility to New York City and New Brunswick enhanced the borough's reputation as a place to live, and the modern suburban ideal of small-town life where tired businessmen could escape the pace of the city grew in popularity. Roads and highways. As of May 2010 update, the borough had a total of 47.06 miles of roadways, of which 38.91 miles were maintained by the municipality, 5.73 miles by Middlesex County and 2.42 miles by the New Jersey Department of Transportation. The biggest change to affect Metuchen between the world wars was the rise of the automobile. In the 1920s, service stations were built, and the construction of U.S. Route 1 just south of Metuchen in 1930 diverted traffic away from Middlesex Avenue, helping the borough retain its residential character. Both Route 27 and County Route 531 pass through and intersect at the heart of the borough, while Interstate 287 runs along the southern border. Metuchen also includes portions of County Route 501, County Route 660 and County Route 669. Other limited-access roads are nearby, such as the New Jersey Turnpike in surrounding Edison Township and the Garden State Parkway in Woodbridge Township. Public transportation. The Metuchen train station provides service to many destinations along New Jersey Transit's Northeast Corridor line between the Trenton Transit Center and New York Penn Station. NJ Transit local bus service is available on the 810, 813 and 819 routes. Notable people. People who were born in, residents of, or otherwise closely associated with Metuchen include Marks Blakely, two-time America East Men's Basketball Player of the Year, winner of 2010 Slam Dunk Contest. Charles Brown, actor. Barbara Buono, New Jersey State Senator. John Chardy, poet. David Copperfield, magician and illusionist. Scott Cowan, president of Tulane University. James Florio, governor of New Jersey from 1990 to 1994. Mary Eleanor Wilkins Freeman, author and novelist. Robert Heggies, actor who played the character Epstein in the 1970s TV series Welcome Back, Kotter. Cecilia Holland, historical novelist. D.K. Holland, graphic designer. Robert Kaplow, teacher and novelist whose coming-of-age novel was made into a film titled Me and Orson Welles. Jerome H. Lemelson, inventor and holder of more than 550 patents. DeJuan Miller, football player at University of Oklahoma. Lonnie Price, actor, writer and director. Quinn Shepard, TV and film actress. Jack Wildman, jazz and rock musician, composer, producer, vocalist and multi-instrumentalist. Marvin Webster, NBA basketball player, spent half his career with the New York Knicks.